Mm.
So much air will come out sometimes.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're live and recording. We're live and recording, so
It tastes like shit.
why don't you tell our listeners what you're trying to do there? Like, a lot of them don't even know what a vape pen is.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I used to chew like a motherfucker, as you know very well. I'm not going to talk to the listeners. I'm going to talk to you.
Fair
The
enough.
listeners can fucking watch if they want to. But I don't really know, to be honest. I feel like I know there's a coil. I know you're supposed to get it wet or whatever a little bit with your shit.
You're supposed to like soak it for 2 minutes.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah,
See,
like you're just supposed to let it set for like 2 minutes.
So by doing this, I'm burning coil hot, essentially.
Right.
So I haven't
Not
let it
giving
get on
time
there.
to set
So
in.
I'm basically, potentially, burning the coil out by myself.
Yeah.
And that's why you can take the coil and just drop a couple on there, because it's the same idea of letting it set in.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So I need to quit doing that.
Yeah, like that's what I do. Whenever I refill it or like replace a coil, I just let it sit there for a couple minutes.
You're so much more patient than me.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have an ounce of that in my soul at all. I have no ability to wait for shit like that.
You just gotta like get it going. It's like I gotta have it now. I gotta have it now.
Oh, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about your Christmas present. I'm not gonna lie.
I
have no fucking clue.
I have no fucking clue, and it amazes me that I don't have a fucking clue what it is.
It's because it's random as fuck.
Is it?
Yeah, it's incredibly random.
Then yeah, it's like the best way to throw me off is to give me a random something.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell you got me to. Like, I've been thinking about what weighs that heavy.
Oh, it is really random.
I can't think of anything.
It's random, but it fits. It fits you. That's all I'm gonna say.
What the fuck? But it's so heavy.
I know, right? You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
The only thing that came to mind was stone coasters or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, because I have those stone. That's the only thing. I'm like, what the hell could weigh this much in such a small package? It has to be stone.
Fun fact, they did have those at the place that I was at.
So it is some kind of like, not decoration, but houseware kind of
use
thing.
that how you will. Maybe. I'm not going to elaborate or give you any more.
It's like healing stones or some bullshit.
No, it's not. It's not that.
Just lay there and rub them all over.
It's actually something more practical than that. I will say that. It's more practical than healing stones.
I can dig something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fucking good. So happy that I got to bail out on church tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I was burnt out busy today. Today was nuts. I got like $330 in cash tips.
Wow.
Plus cards, plus like
that is so
it
cool.
was busy as fuck.
Yeah.
And I've been getting super distracted at work lately with Clash of Clans.
Do you just play Clash of Clans?
I train troops, and when it says your troops are ready for battle, I have a battle. Because I'm trying to get up to 1,250 trophies, because then I get gems, and I need the gems to build another builder hut. I mean, I'm telling you, it's straight addiction. It's exactly like I can imagine World of Warcraft.
Oh, dude, it's totally it, because it's like dude, it's exactly like I was telling you.
You get addicted to tasks.
Like with garrisons, like there's so many tasks that you have to do.
It just keeps you busy.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got me.
Yeah.
And I wish it didn't.
It's got you in its vice-like grip.
There's so many fucking other things to do with my time.
Dude, it's all about how you look at it, you know. So you're spending your time doing something you enjoy.
I enjoy it.
So what really is lost?
Work productivity.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Life productivity.
Maybe.
Like,
yeah, you got me there.
I burned 2 hours off of work that I probably could have skimmed, like not done. I would have been at work 2 hours less had I not been distracted by it.
Well, then, yeah, that would be a little bit...
I don't get paid by the hour. I get paid for doing my job. So it's not like I'm not taking from the company, but...
There's something being taken. You just don't... You're not sure where exactly or who exactly it affects.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't think it would really affect anybody directly, though. That's kind of...
right. Like, nobody's hurt.
No, yeah.
Except for me choosing what to do with my time and maybe being safe on the road and yada, yada, yada.
Fucking go for it. Just fucking do it.
I'm at 1050. I just need 200 more trophies.
Oh, wow.
You get like 15 to 20 trophies per battle you win. And you literally, like, have you ever played it? It's literally like it's like Warcraft, like original Warcraft. Except for it's multiplayer. And So a lot of it's you building. It's like the garrison. A lot of it's like you building your area, strengthening your walls, strengthening your defenses, upgrading shit, getting better troops, blah blah blah. But where like it really gets hardcore is you join a clan, guild, right? I haven't done that yet. I give a big middle finger to all. I'm off on my own.
You're like, no, fuck
you. I'm doing just fine by myself. I'll let you know when I need help.
So, dude, all the more power to you, man.
I started my own clan, and I made it invite only, and they can all fuck off.
So
just me.
You have one clan, and you're the only one in it.
Correct.
That is awesome.
And I'm still kicking ass.
Didn't think that was possible to have a clan with nobody in it.
Fuck yeah. I'm doing just fine, too, everybody. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get to a point where I need more help, but...
Oh, man.
But, like, you go, like, the way you win trophies is you go attack, and it'll, like, generate a random person. It's a real person, but it'll, like, throw that person's city on the map. And you have to take the troops you've trained and conquer the city. It's that simple, right?
Yeah.
Simple. There's loot available when you go in. It's all their, like, elixir and gold that they've stored up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have, like, 5,000 of this and 10 of that. I've got, like, 400,000 gold in my bank.
Jesus.
Like, who the fuck are you, and what are you wasting your gold on? Because I am just destroying your city. I don't have clanmates. I don't have, like...
Jesus. I guess that is a viable strategy, then, to just be a clan of yourself.
And I'm not giving any of my money to any... There's none of this communist bullshit.
That is
I'm, like, off on my own little...
So do you know what are the supposed benefits of being in a clan or having a clan full of people?
Supposed benefits are shared risk. You can donate troops to the clan, and then when somebody comes and attacks a city, those troops pop out in that person's city. So if there's 10 people in the clan, if one person's city gets attacked, all these troops pop out to go to battle. The people you've trained in your own city, they don't fight when you're on defense. But clan troops will pop out and fight from your clan castle. Okay. So they're like a second layer of defense, so you can have that, which they're pretty hardcore. Like, when I attack, the first thing I always do is I drop a unit right next to the clan castle to see if there's any troops that are going to come out.
Interesting.
And then I deal with that first.
You do recon first.
Oh, for sure.
And
then depending on what happens there, sometimes it's like 10 giants come out. Okay, so I'm dropping all my people there, and we're going to go to war with the people before I go to war with the town. You know what I mean? Because those things can fuck you up if you're by yourself.
That does sound really cool. I never really, like...
Yeah.
I've always heard about Clash of Clans, but I've never been, like...
Why fuck with it if you got World of Warcraft?
I've never been a mobile games guy.
No, you're good. Yeah. World of Warcraft's that on steroids.
I got my game, and...
It makes me want to play World of Warcraft.
Dude, yeah, you should give it a shot, man.
Because, like... I don't know. Who fucking knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm running through these classes. I'm like, hey, bye.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Like if I had the income, I would have built you a PC for Christmas.
I need to look into that.
It's not as expensive as you might think.
I would prefer to put the money in your hands and have you do the building kind of thing. I just need you to let me know what I would love to. I fucking love to. Yeah, I want to put it in a separate room, and then we can actually do the podcast thing off that computer that I can build into a second room that'll be a studio / Andrew's secret World of Warcraft lair that we don't tell anyone about.
It's like someone goes upstairs to use the restroom or something and say, hey, what's in that?
There'll be like 7 locks on the door.
7 locks on the door, and then we'd
be
like...
It's my dungeon.
No, and that's when we'd be like, what room? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's my garrison.
And she's like, or he or she is like, but there's a door right there, and it's like, there's just a wall there.
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to prove it. Show me this room.
Fucking coil, I want to go grab my
Yeah, it's like, it tastes burnt, doesn't it? Yeah, because like my coil, I let it sit,
Shit.
and it tastes terrible.
Talk to the computer.
All right.
I'll talk about, I don't know, monologue. All right, back.
Oh, what's up, Charlie? I didn't see you in here. Hey, Charlie. How you doing, girl? Charlie's asleep on the floor. Just chilling. Oh my God! Thank God you're back. I can't monologue. That's not one of my skill sets.
Sitting here like, hello. Don't let there be dead space.
I thought about like lifting Charlie up and showing it to the camera. It's like, Here's Charlie. Fill in for me. Fill in. Do something cute. You're a puppy.
Yeah, no kidding. It's interesting though. I think about this whole podcast thing or whatever, and God damn it, do you have a pair of pliers or anything I can grip with?
Pliers for the coil.
Yeah, it's like stuck in here.
No, I do not have what you are seeking.
Motherfucker.
Do you like screw it in like super tight?
Not that tight.
I don't have pliers. I'm not a handyman.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Fuck this coil and its terrorist friends. Goddamn atheist coil.
I don't think a coil can be affiliated in anything. Unless it was made by
total
something.
clusterfuck. Anyways, what I was trying to talk about before I got super distracted by this shit was oops.
Yeah, I can vacuum it out or wash it or something.
Was just kind of the idea of what we're gonna do with this podcast in the first place. What our kind of goals are.
I was thinking just like find a topic online. And the way it's streaming and recording is it's showing us on the webcam, and then it has whatever I have up on my main screen. And so we can find a topic, show them the website where we're looking at, and we could like talk about it or something. Or we could watch a video or a YouTube video or something, and we could comment on that YouTube video.
So, podcasting...
It's
it
more
has
like,
to be something where it's both. I feel like it has to be something where it's both important, like the audio and the video are equally presentable, or whatever word you choose to use.
Well, we can just
like I don't want it to be shortened.
Only.
Yeah, I guess my point is I don't want it to be something. For me, I'm not trying to hijack this. So I'm trying to be all fucking coy with my wording. I'm gonna go grab the fucking pliers from downstairs. I don't want it to be something that is worth that you have to have the video for it to make sense.
Oh, okay. You want it to be no, I get what you're saying. I just can't think of the word either.
Yeah, I just want it to be like cross media.
There's a train in the background. Did you find some?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right up. What do you know?
It's almost like you know where everything is in this house.
Yeah, it's almost like I live here.
It is almost like it is. It's weird.
Strange.
Yeah.
Kids these days.
So yeah, instead of that, we could just kind of do like an audio only kind of thing.
Yeah, I could see like getting to points where it's like, look, have you seen this video? Blah blah blah, and you pop the video up, and it's like, hey, sorry assholes, like you don't know what the fuck we're talking about right now, but you're gonna go have to look it up.
Yeah,
because it's like a talking point kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't know. I guess you come from a world where everybody's watching the video.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that people do. And
I come from a world of like podcast only, where like I listen to my earbuds on my iPhone, and I never go to the video version of a podcast, even though like I have a bunch of them that do stream live. I never go to that. I don't get in front of a computer and listen.
Well, I get in front of a computer for a few of these podcasts, and a lot of them aren't even what you would call podcasts. Some of them are like commentaries or
like they're commenting on a live video.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of it.
On a live video or of a topic or of something. And like it's cool both ways. It's cool to have the audio only where they can't see anything, and it's just for people to have earbuds in and listen to. And then you have the stuff that is like, oh, it's a video and you can watch it and kind of follow along with all the points that they're making. Or if it's on like a Twitch stream, you can have whoever's listening like chat and comment on whatever you're talking about. Or they can ask you questions live and you can answer them, stuff like that.
Which brings us actually to a whole nother layer of conversation.
It's
Are
more...
we trying to like have free flow conversation? Or are we trying to like do like a guided lesson plan? Like today we're talking about the top 10 blah blah blah.
I could say it's more so along the lines of just free range. Like we can do everything from just talking about a single topic or letting our minds roam around the internet and see what we find, and we can talk about those, find some different topics, some controversial topics, some topics we've never even thought about or heard of, or stuff that basically we have no opinion on.
Because I could dig
form an opinion live.
I could dig like a TED Talk kind of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I fucking hate TED Talks, but like the idea of live commenting on a TED Talk. And then letting that like stream off into a conversation afterwards.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, that would be cool. It's like
watching something together.
Yeah, it's like hey, we're gonna watch this video, and then we turn off the
take it apart as we're watching it, kind of thing, and then like afterwards, have a conversation.
Here's how we digest the information.
Who fucking knows where, based on kind of what we just saw.
Right.
Debate shit and yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Any ideas for our first video? It's great.
I don't know, man.
Holiday themed shit can suck it.
Tis the season to not be in season.
I fucking hate like those topical like this week blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like it's Halloween, so it's a mandatory spooky scary
game
skeletons.
Theory. Have you ever heard of game theory?
I've heard of so much.
Look that shit up, man.
Oh, is it like a single thing that you found?
Look up the. Long story short, this physicist dude basically mathematically broke apart kind of some blah blah blah. You gotta look it up. I'm talking out of my ass. But ultimately, he found game theory. He found a self-correcting computer code in his mathematics behind it all. And long story short, coming full circle, the idea essentially is that if we continue to build technology further and further, we can create like Sims, like a SimCity kind of thing, right?
Really?
Or the Sims. At what point, like those Sims don't know they're in the Sims. At what point do you look at it and think, oh shit, am I just in a game? Am I just in a program?
Oh, dude, I've been there before.
You know what I mean?
Oh, dude.
Like maybe we fucking are though.
When I first saw The Matrix, I immediately, as I was walking out of the theater, I immediately started thinking about, what kind of state of existence am I in right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really hard to know, because, my famous line from that movie is, it's like, what is real? How do you define real? If what you feel is real is what you can see.
Choose from it. I'm going to try and put a little more in here.
And this is easy does it.
Just a couple little squeezes.
But no, what really stuck with me is that it's like things you can see, feel, taste, smell. Then real is just like electronic impulses from your brain.
Well, and that's my point. And that's the cool thing. We gotta find a video of somebody explaining it, breaking that shit down. Speaking of videos, that's my point. Is it's like you get to a certain point where it's like, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
Well, and then you get to infinity. If the universe is infinity, then you exist the same exact life with the same exact choices with the same exact consequences somewhere else.
Yeah. And then you're
you do with certainty.
Yeah. And then what really is free will, and what is choice? Or am I always going to make the same choice? If I were to repeat my life, would I make any other changes?
Well, it just becomes fucking stupid at a certain point.
It wouldn't be. It's not. It doesn't exactly become stupid. It becomes unknowable. It becomes.
What's the point though? If it's all just a fucking
That's a good question.
Why not just go buck wild and fuck it? I guess because it'd be boring to sit in jail for the rest of your life.
I guess it would.
Because there are still consequences, even.
Well, the reason why,
in the Sims, there's consequences, are there not?
Yeah, it's because I've thought about it, and I've never done it because I don't really think of myself as anyone who would go super crazy or murder people or do whatever the fuck I want and don't give a fuck about the rules, because I care about other people, even if they might be fake or not real to my knowledge, because I'm only aware of myself. I don't know if everybody else is actually the same as me, where they have a consciousness or or like a
Guarantee
soul
it
and
not.
stuff. I wouldn't be able to 100%
Maybe
know.
are. I think everybody, not everybody. There's different IQs. There's different, it's a scale of intelligence, right? But I think on a certain, like if you keep the intelligence level constant, I think there's just different levels of walled in and buried and hidden, and I think that's the spectrum that you see is people that are so afraid that they hide behind blah 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 that they get to a point where they're just a talking head, versus people that are comfortable enough to like really stretch their mind, be open to really crazy shit, yada yada yada. I don't think that consciousness is on or off. I think it's a series of events and ways you approach your life. Like I'm very aware, but I could easily not be aware if I was continuing in a way that if I was living a life that I had to rationalize and I had to like talk myself into it being okay. You start creating crazy fucking, you just crazy all sorts of crazy thinking errors or whatever.
Yeah.
To make yourself feel like, okay, this is normal.
Yeah, no, yeah, because like you kind of reason with your own brain,
right,
for some kind of a way to like a different outlook or a different focus on how you're thinking, what you're thinking.
Nobody makes choices that they think are stupid, wrong, and blah blah blah. Like people make choices based on
what they've experienced.
Like nobody's walking down the street acting in a way that they think is incorrect or silly. People act based on what they believe in and blah blah blah. You make dumb choices where in hindsight you look back at it and think you could have done it differently. But like when I go down the street and I talk to somebody and I treat someone a certain way and blah blah, that's all based on what I believe to be real and true.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you have the other end of the spectrum where people who just don't give a fuck about how they look to other people or how they sound to other people. They just say whatever comes to their mind without engaging their filter.
But do you really believe that that's like a baseline personality?
Yes.
You really believe that?
Yes,
you don't think that that's somebody that's a cause of their circumstances, of them being so like afraid of conflict or afraid of environment that they just are constantly pushing people away and it's become like a lifestyle?
I truly believe that there's every kind of personality out there because...
Okay, so bring it back then.
Okay.
Do you think personalities are just like blank slates, like stamps? You're this person. Or do you think that personalities are... Yeah,
a personality is built out of the experiences that you've been through.
If I were to live the non-filtered asshole's life, moment by moment, would I be a non-filtered asshole?
Probably, because you would have never had any experience filtering yourself. You would assume that that's the norm, and think anyone who thinks otherwise is an idiot.
So personality is a series of events and like lessons learned based on environment.
Personality is how you've adapted throughout your life.
Yeah.
With all the circumstances.
You have to add in,
obviously,
intelligence and blah blah blah. Like there's baseline, I think, levels that brains tick and ability to process information and blah 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 blah.
Well, it's just like your brain mostly works as like electric synapses firing off.
Okay.
And it all depends on the order and where they're connected to and what area of that brain that corresponds with that synapse.
But if my synapses can work faster and maybe it's a bit better, then I can process data plus more data.
Plus more stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can see more essentially and process more, which gives me more context to situations than maybe the average Joe.
Well, then think about it this way then. When you were a kid, would you say you had the same attention to detail that you have as an adult?
No.
So your personality...
Hold on, that's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Maybe not as mature of an attention, because maybe it builds on itself. Maybe I've always had the attention to detail, but it's actually just like as you get older, you're building more context, your foundation's growing, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
so maybe at point one, I'm heading off quicker.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're a kid, you may notice things but your brain doesn't log them the same way that you would as an adult.
Right, but does the genius kid versus the regular kid, does the genius kid's brain log them faster, quicker, blah, blah, blah? Like, that's my question.
It all depends on the development speed of the brain and their past experiences that gave them their base for their
but it's not like
understanding.
Same, 18. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, there's definitely a plateau that you reach in like aging and maturity that kind of stays relatively the same from, I believe, 18 to 22. And then it starts going upwards after 23 and 25. And that's just the way
the frontal blah, 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 the rational part of your brain turns off and does like a hard reset between like 18 and 25. So you just become kind of an impulsive blah, blah, blah. Like it turns off. Turns back on when you get mid-20s, essentially, for guys.
I think so.
But my point is, like, are we calling intelligence... Is maturity intelligence, or is intelligence intelligence?
Intelligence is intelligence. Maturity, I believe, has to do with how you enact your intelligence, how you enact your personality. Because if you're immature, you would laugh at someone telling a sad story about their dog dying or a friend of theirs died.
I don't think intelligence and maturity correlate.
I disagree.
Some of the most intelligent people on the planet are like socially inept.
Well, also a lot of intelligent people are not able to be social at all.
Well, for me, like, I see too much. I fucking see through all the bullshit. I see the little nuanced shit people are trying to, act, like, just the fucking, it's hard to even describe. I see things where I'm getting a little, like, people into somebody's soul.
It's easier for you to see transparent people.
It's easier for me to see everybody. Like, exactly.
Yeah.
I see way the fuck more. So for me, it's hard for me to be socially mature because I can't fucking play that game. Everybody else is kind of in on the game on the level because there's kind of wool over everyone's eyes. I see through all that shit, so it's hard for me to interact with people.
Well, yeah, and then a lot of people, they won't necessarily know that they're being that transparent. They won't know that they're doing those nuances.
Exactly.
They'll just assume it's normal because that's what they've grown up around.
Well, and that's the fucking weird part.
Yeah.
Which comes full circle back to his maturity, intelligence, maturity.
I still don't think maturity is intelligence.
At all.
They're two very different things, yeah. Because for the most part, intelligence is something that has to be built. But,
maturity is something that has to be built.
Maturity has to be built, or is it just how your body adapts over the years?
I believe that maturity is a choice. I've grown the fuck up in the last 3 years. I chose to approach life. I chose to question my beliefs. I chose to work hard at changing things that, in a moment of clarity, I knew were not right or ways I wanted to be, but were so, like, just standard operating procedure or whatever for me. Like, I chose to attack that and approach that. Some people are afraid and don't choose that. They're afraid of questioning their religion. They're afraid of breaking out of family culture. They're afraid of... Like, I really believe that next level of growing up, like, maybe the first, 1, 2, 3, 4 stages is, like, kind of just life. I feel like at a certain point, you have to, you have to choose to reach that next level, because the next level requires you to challenge yourself, to look at yourself and question your own thoughts and beliefs, and to really be vulnerable.
And yet a lot of people, like, older than us, have never done that. Because they just feel like they're so rooted in their own culture and their own family and their own religion that they feel like that is the ultimate, correct thing in their life.
Everybody, I can't say everybody, but I believe this. Everybody deep down inside has that question. Or a question. or some kind of like weird feeling about whether or not. A little bit of doubt, a little bit of like, oh, that doesn't make sense.
My opinion is that not everybody. My opinion is that you would be surprised, I think. Because a lot of people just don't
People won't admit it, though. Well, they're afraid.
How do you know? How do you know
see those people?
That, how do you know that their brain works the same way, or they take in the same information that you do? How do you know that, like...
That's fair.
Like what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so this wall. How do you know that your, I don't know, what you call that, beige wall or a tan wall?
Right, that's our perception. I'm talking about self-perception.
It can be the same thing.
Yeah, but we can all look at the wall. We can't all look at ourselves or each other's selves. Like,
we can get as close as we can, but we can never really truly know someone else as well as we could know ourselves.
Everyone that I've ever met, I can think of a few people who feel like they're outside of this, or look at themselves and are able to question something that they think or believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that, to me, means that it's doable. Everyone that I've met can do that.
It is doable, but I think it's the speed at which they start to question.
Sure, but it's possible, and I think that next level of maturity is breaking through that barrier.
Yeah, and I'm of the belief that a really large percentage of people out there
got my vote there.
Don't even know it. Like, they don't even fathom.
I'll give you that. I just also want to hold on to the fact that it's possible for everyone.
It is possible,
but I do agree that there are people that it hasn't even crossed their mind.
Yeah.
That they're able to change the way they think about things. They're able to break out of their routine family dynamic. They're like.
Well, you also have to kind of think about it this way. Do you think you would have the same kind of perspective on this very topic if you were raised by different people or you grew up around different people?
No, we're all
different schools.
We're all our circumstances.
Right. So,
but I was raised in a very unquestioning culture.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in a hardcore religious family. You don't question shit. God exists. That's a truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I broke out all that shit. Like, I was raised in one of those kind of totalitarian,
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that. But I had to make a scary choice to go walk out alone into the woods.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's possible, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of those people that was sitting there like, this doesn't make sense. Like, what? Like, this isn't like, there's nothing to, like, it's broken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's an error in the fucking code.
There are too many contradictions. There are too many questions. Too many uncertainties.
That's how a lot of people just fucking, you gotta just have faith. Like, they fall back on these little truisms that are created or whatever. But
that's the stuff I can't stand.
And they build walls around themselves with that shit.
They get defensive about it.
Because they, deep down inside, they know it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Or they know it doesn't make sense. Like, they hear shit and they're like, good point. How the fuck could there not be evolution? Mm-hmm. We got bones from 300,000 years ago.
Yeah.
They hear shit like that and they just go straight to, well, God can do anything. God could have set it up like that and just boom. Like, he could have invented that whole record.
Just to test our faith.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
Like, God put it there to test your faith. How far are you willing to stretch, sir?
Well, that's exactly it, though.
I think you're about to break
something. That's a person who is so afraid of unplugging from the Matrix. They choose the red pill.
They're clinging too tightly to their comforting belief that everything is going to be okay. When they die, they'll go to heaven.
They want that. Yeah. They want to feel safe. They don't want to be vulnerable.
Yeah. They need to just, they need a reason to be good. They need an overpowering being to be good.
It's all about safety, emotional safety. Like, name the reason why you don't go and try and do the dream of all dreams, because you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of rejection. There's some base fucking feelings that hold people into where they are.
Right.
They're simple and they are universal. I mean, plain and simple. And so you get somebody who's built their entire worldview around this idea, like they're not gonna run a lot of it. Most people are not going to turn away from that. That is like they're putting their entire way they see the world. They're putting that out there as like on the altar. You know what I mean? To be sacrificed if something changes.
Right.
They're disowning their entire existence essentially and recreating themselves. That's fear, man.
Yeah,
they don't need that.
It's fear in the unknown. It's
they
fear
don't.
in
That's
the
not a need though. That's not like a. That's like a disease. They don't need that. That owns them. That needs them almost. You know.
It's more. Yeah, it's more like a parasite than anything else. And it's a
Even
self-sustaining
even
parasite.
if you do come full circle back to believing in God, like the fact that most people have never taken that journey. I mean, that's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you know? I mean, you're just a sheep.
Like I think to, like the very moments I really started asking questions and thinking about things, thinking about myself, thinking about other people, and it was in astronomy 101 in college.
Yeah,
and
you just get a perspective for the.
I got just the biggest perspective change.
How small you are in the universe.
It was a huge paradigm shift because it was.
What it was for me too. You start getting. You break out of this little. It was a history degree for me, but you break out of this little like 27 years being the everything, and you start filling in the blanks and expanding, and before you fucking know it, you realize that this is like just a blip, like not even a blip. Like,
dude, it's
no one will ever know who I was.
In the expanse of time,
200 years.
We are dust. We're just
dust.
A tiny blue speck of dust in the sea of blackness.
No one will know I existed in 200 years.
Yeah.
Unless I like blow up a government building or invent a supercomputer.
Right.
No one will have a fucking clue I existed.
Mm-hmm.
That's some fucking weird shit.
It is.
You get there and like all of a sudden you can. All of a sudden, whether God exists or not becomes a little more open for debate.
Yeah.
Now the problem is they get into eternity, and then everybody. You want to talk about fear? You make the wrong choice, and you got to go burn over and over again for eternity.
Right. And what justice is that for like a lifetime of maybe 75 years? I don't
think it has anything to do with justice.
Does 75 years of sin justify an eternity of torture?
I'm not going to get into a theological debate about it because we're getting back to testing our faith.
That's a whole other podcast.
It is indeed. I will happily go down those roads, but I won't go down them for 30-second conversations.
Not on Christmas Eve.
Well, no. It has nothing to do with that. It's just that requires a couple of hours. A very clear path, and because that shit's insane. You can really go places with that question, and places that are very they might be circular logic or whatever, but you can create boxes that make things like 75 years being deserving of eternity in hell. You can create a rationalization for how that makes sense. Obviously. Obviously.
Yeah.
People don't do things because they don't believe. You know what I mean? Like, obviously.
People have made those rationalizations.
And they preach them every week at entire congregations.
Yeah, that's...
Well, and the answer ultimately, is...
It's a whole other bag of worms.
Oh, yeah, it is a whole other bag of worms. I don't want to get into it. But point being, that's not even the question. The question is, how the fuck could you ever know if you're not willing to say it's wrong?
Yeah.
Like if you're never even willing to ask
the
questions.
How can you find the solution to the question that you would never ask?
Well, exactly. And it's like at that point, fine, you've just chose to bury your head in sand. For right or wrong.
Yeah.
You could be right, you could be wrong. But you've just chose to... You're getting on board the bandwagon and off you go.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll go burn in hell for eternity, at which point I'll wish I'd hopped on the bandwagon, but...
Maybe. But... Man,
Well, anyways.
I'm fried.
Me too, my brain hurts.
I have done my thinking, so I'm just
Turn
gonna
it off, shut it down.
and I do want to